Hi, welcome to English Hamster. Are you learning English? Great. Here we learn through stories. They are simple and interesting. You can improve English while learning knowledge. Remember to subscribe, like and comment. Let's get started.
Learning a new language can be exciting, but it can also be frustrating. One of the biggest challenges many English learners face is overthinking when it comes time to speak. Does this sound familiar? You hesitate before saying a word, worried that your grammar isn't perfect or that your pronunciation will confuse others. But here's a secret. To truly become fluent, you need to stop overthinking and start speaking. In today's article, we will dive into the common reasons why learners struggle to speak English confidently and share some powerful strategies to help you break free from overthinking. By the end of this article, you will feel more confident in speaking English, knowing that making mistakes is not something to fear, but a part of the process. The problem: why do learners overthink? Fear of making mistakes. Let's start by understanding the problem. Why do so many English learners hesitate when speaking? A major reason is the fear of making mistakes. Many learners worry, what if I say something wrong? Or what if people don't understand me? These thoughts often lead to silence instead of speaking, and that's where the real problem begins. The truth is, everyone makes mistakes. Native speakers make mistakes too, but they keep talking. They don't stop to correct every little thing they say. The key is to keep the conversation going, even if you make a mistake. The fear of making mistakes often leads learners to avoid speaking altogether, which slows down their progress. Translating from your native language. Another reason learners overthink is that they try to translate from their native language into English. This might seem like a natural approach, but it can cause delays in speech. Imagine you want to say, "I'm going to the store." But instead of just saying it, you first think in your native language, translate the words, and then speak them in English. By the time you've finished thinking about what you want to say, the conversation may have already moved on. The best way to avoid this is to think directly in English. It may feel difficult at first, but with practice, your brain will start to form sentences in English naturally, and you won't have to pause and translate. A lack of confidence. Lastly, many learners struggle with a lack of confidence. They might think their accent is not good enough, or they don't have a large vocabulary. But guess what? Confidence is the key to speaking fluently. The more you speak, the more confident you become. And the more confident you feel, the better your English will sound. So even if you're not perfect, keep speaking. The more you do it, the easier it gets. The solution: speak first, correct later. Why fluency comes from practice, not perfection. Now that we understand why learners overthink, let's talk about the solution. Fluency in English doesn't come from waiting until you're perfect. It comes from practice. The more you speak, the more your brain gets used to forming sentences in English quickly and naturally. If you keep stopping to think about grammar rules or the correct pronunciation, you'll slow yourself down. Think about how babies learn to speak. They don't study grammar or vocabulary before talking. They listen, repeat, and speak, even if they make mistakes. Over time, their speech improves. This is exactly how adults can learn a new language too. If you wait until your English is perfect, you'll never improve. Instead, speak as much as possible, even if you make mistakes. Speak first, fix later. One of the best pieces of advice for learners is, speak first, fix later. If you focus too much on speaking perfectly, you'll spend too much time thinking. This slows you down. But if you just speak and worry about small mistakes later, you'll sound much more natural. The goal is to communicate, not to be perfect. Native speakers don't worry about making small mistakes. They focus on getting their message across. The more relaxed and natural you are when speaking, the more confident you sound. And confidence is more important than perfect grammar. Embrace mistakes as part of learning. Let's be clear, mistakes are part of the process. They are proof that you are learning. If you never make mistakes, you aren't challenging yourself enough. Every time you speak, even if you make a mistake, you are one step closer to fluency. Mistakes help you learn new vocabulary, improve your pronunciation, and become a better communicator. Practical tips to stop overthinking and start speaking. Now that we've covered the importance of speaking first and embracing mistakes, let's dive into some practical tips to help you stop overthinking and start speaking confidently. 1. Think in English. The first tip is to train your brain to think in English. This will help you stop translating from your native language. To practice thinking in English, try describing your day in English. For example, if you're making breakfast, you can think to yourself, "I'm cooking eggs. The toast is in the toaster. I'm making a cup of tea." This simple exercise helps make English a part of your everyday thoughts and improves your fluency. 2. Don't worry about grammar. Yes, grammar is important, but when you're speaking, communication is more important than correctness. If you stop every few seconds to check if you're using the right grammar, you'll become frustrated and lose your flow. Focus on getting your message across and worry about grammar later. Remember, even native speakers make mistakes in their speech, and it doesn't stop them from being understood. 3. Practice with yourself. Many learners say they don't have anyone to practice with, but that's not an excuse. You can practice by speaking to yourself. Look in the mirror and describe what you see, or talk about your day in English. This will help you get comfortable speaking out loud without the fear of being judged. 4. Use shadowing. Shadowing is one of the most effective techniques to improve your fluency. This involves listening to a native speaker, such as from a podcast or a YouTube video, and immediately repeating what they say. Try to copy their pronunciation, rhythm, and speed as closely as possible. By doing this, you train your brain to think and speak in a more natural way. You'll also improve your accent and pronunciation, helping you sound more like a native speaker. You don't need a teacher to practice shadowing. You can do it with any content in English that you find interesting, whether it's a movie, a podcast, or even a song. Just listen, repeat, and pay attention to the details of how the speaker forms their sentences. 5. Keep your sentences simple. Many learners make the mistake of trying to create complex, long sentences when speaking. While it's important to learn more complex structures over time, it's better to start with short, simple sentences. For example, instead of saying, "I would like to ask if you could help me find a place where I could buy some coffee," just say, "Can you help me find a place for coffee?" Simple sentences are easier to say and understand. They help you keep the conversation going without getting stuck in grammar or vocabulary. So, don't worry about making your sentences long or complicated. Focus on clear communication. 6. Embrace your mistakes. One of the biggest barriers to speaking is the fear of making mistakes. But here's the truth. Making mistakes is a part of learning. In fact, if you're not making mistakes, you're not challenging yourself enough. So, instead of worrying about your mistakes, embrace them. They show you where you can improve, and the more mistakes you make, the faster you'll learn. If you don't know a word, describe it in a different way. If you forget a grammar rule, keep speaking and try to correct it next time. The key is to keep going, even if it's not perfect. The more you speak, the better you'll become. 7. Immerse yourself in English every day. The more English you hear, the more natural it will feel to speak. So, try to surround yourself with English as much as possible. Listen to English podcasts, watch movies and TV shows in English, or even read English books or articles. This will help you get used to the way native speakers talk and the flow of the language. The more you hear, the easier it will be to speak. Even if you're busy, try to find a few minutes each day to immerse yourself in English. It could be listening to a short podcast episode while you're cooking or watching an English video during your break. The more exposure you have to the language, the faster you will improve. 8. Set a speaking challenge for yourself. Another great way to practice speaking is to set a speaking challenge. For example, challenge yourself to speak in English for 5 minutes every day, no matter what. You can talk about anything, your day, your plans, or even something you saw on the news. The goal is to speak continuously for a set amount of time without stopping. It's okay if you don't know all the words or if you make mistakes. The point is to get comfortable speaking without thinking too much. As you keep doing this, you'll find that it becomes easier and more natural to speak without hesitation. Mindset shifts. Confidence is key. Now that we've covered some practical tips, let's talk about the most important aspect of speaking English confidently: your mindset. It's not just about practicing the language, it's about how you think about speaking. 1. Confidence comes from action. Many learners wait until they feel ready to speak, but the truth is, confidence comes from speaking, not from waiting. The more you speak, the more confident you will become. So, don't wait for the perfect moment. Start speaking now, and your confidence will grow over time. 2. Forget perfection. A lot of learners feel like they need to be perfect before they can speak. They worry about grammar mistakes, pronunciation errors, or forgetting vocabulary. But the truth is, native speakers make mistakes all the time and they keep talking. The goal is not perfection, but communication. If you focus on communicating your ideas clearly, you'll sound more natural and confident. 3. Mistakes are proof you're learning. When you make a mistake, don't see it as a failure. Instead, see it as proof that you're learning. Every mistake is a step forward in your language journey. If you never make mistakes, it means you're not challenging yourself enough. So, embrace your mistakes as opportunities to grow. 4. Don't compare yourself to others. Many learners make the mistake of comparing themselves to other speakers, especially native speakers. They think, "I'll never sound like a native," or "my friend speaks better English than me." But the only person you should compare yourself to is yourself. Are you improving every day? If yes, you're on the right track. Focus on your own progress and celebrate your successes, no matter how small. 5. Step out of your comfort zone. Learning a new language can feel uncomfortable at first, and that's okay. Confidence grows when you step outside your comfort zone. Don't avoid English conversations just because they make you nervous. The more you push yourself to speak, the easier it will become. So, embrace the discomfort and keep moving forward. Growth happens when you challenge yourself. Practical exercises to help you speak more. Along with the mindset shifts and tips we've covered, it's time to put everything into practice. Here are some practical exercises to help you improve your speaking skills and stop overthinking. 1. The Spontaneous Speaking Challenge. One of the best ways to build confidence is to practice speaking spontaneously. This means you need to talk about a topic without preparing or overthinking. The goal is to speak for 30 seconds to 1 minute without pausing or hesitating. This exercise helps you focus on communicating clearly rather than worrying about making mistakes. Here's how you can do it. Choose a random topic. For example, talk about your favorite hobby or describe your favorite food. Set a timer for 1 minute. Start speaking without stopping. Try to stay calm and keep going, even if you don't know every word. If you forget a word, use a different phrase to explain it. Doing this every day will help you become more comfortable with speaking, and soon you'll be able to talk about anything in English without pausing to think. 2. Record yourself speaking. Recording yourself is another powerful way to improve. It might feel strange at first, but it's a great way to listen to your pronunciation, identify areas you need to work on, and track your progress over time. Here's what you can do. Choose a topic to speak about or read a short passage aloud. Record yourself speaking for 1 to 2 minutes. After listening to the recording, take note of any words or sentences that sounded unclear or awkward. Then, practice them again. This method helps you focus on specific parts of your speaking that you can improve, and it shows you how much progress you've made. 3. Shadowing with a partner or online content. Shadowing, as we mentioned before, involves repeating what you hear immediately. This is a great way to improve pronunciation and fluency. If you don't have a speaking partner, you can practice shadowing with content from podcasts, movies, or even YouTube videos. Here's how you can do it. Choose a short video or podcast in English that interests you. Play the audio and repeat what you hear, trying to copy the speaker's speed and pronunciation. Pause the audio whenever needed and repeat the sentence multiple times until you feel comfortable saying it naturally. Shadowing helps you get used to the rhythm and flow of natural English conversation. It's also great for improving your accent, helping you sound more like a native speaker. 4. Speak with a language partner or tutor. If you can, find a language partner or hire a tutor to practice speaking. Speaking with someone regularly helps you stay motivated and gives you the opportunity to practice in real conversations. You can find language partners on language exchange apps or websites, and many tutors offer online lessons. When practicing with someone else, don't focus on making your sentences perfect. Instead, just enjoy the conversation and focus on making yourself understood. Your language partner will appreciate your effort, and you'll build your confidence faster. Final encouragement: keep going. Learning English is a journey, and it's important to remember that fluency doesn't happen overnight. But with the right mindset and the determination to practice regularly, you will improve. You might face challenges along the way, but keep pushing forward. Every time you speak, you become better. To summarize, here are the key takeaways for overcoming overthinking and building fluency. Speak without fear of making mistakes. Focus on communication, not perfection. Practice thinking in English and shadowing native speakers. Record yourself to track progress and improve pronunciation. Set daily challenges to speak for 5 minutes, no matter what. Remember that every mistake is an opportunity to learn. The power of consistency. One of the most important things in learning a new language is consistency. Don't expect to be fluent after a week of practice. Just like any other skill, learning English takes time, effort, and daily practice. But if you commit to practicing a little each day, you will notice gradual improvements. It's also important to enjoy the process. If you focus on the small victories, like successfully completing a spontaneous speaking challenge or having a short conversation in English, you'll stay motivated. A final note: believe in yourself. Lastly, believe in yourself. It's easy to get discouraged when you make mistakes or feel like you're not improving as quickly as you'd like. But remember, you are capable of achieving fluency. The only thing you need to do is start speaking and keep going.
Hey, if you learned something new today, please give this video a like. Write your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second and it really helps to create more English videos for you. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.